John Black's final, a bittersweet farewell that saves Bo Brady's life as speculation continues to swirl like a Salem thunderstorm. A dramatic theory is emerging, one that connects the fate of two iconic men, John Black and Bo Brady. Yes, that John Black, quite possibly the ultimate savior. A timeline of tragedy and hope. Let's rewind. Bo Brady, long believed lost forever, shocked fans with his miraculous return. But celebration turned to fear when it was revealed he had been poisoned by a rare and deadly bacterial infection. One that quickly led to full-blown sepsis. With time running out and experimental treatments failing, the question became painfully clear. Could Bo survive? Enter the possibility of an experimental sepsis drug, dangerous to obtain, uncertain in efficacy, and surrounded by moral complications. Sean and Steve risked everything to retrieve it, but even their courage might come too late, because Bo's condition was deteriorating fast. His organs were shutting down. He was slipping away. Meanwhile, in another corner of Salem, John Black's storyline, once veiled in ambiguity, suddenly took a stark turn. His health had quietly worsened off-screen, a fact hinted at through subtle script clues and the poignant silences in his final scenes. His last episodes, though understated at the time, now feel charged with meaning in hindsight. A quiet conversation with Marlena. A long, almost too long gaze at a family photo. A final embrace. It wasn't just a goodbye. It was the goodbye. But not before John had one last mission. One final act of service to those he loved and to a friend he owed everything. A hero's legacy. The unthinkable becomes reality. What if John knew his time was coming? What if, in the shadows of his failing health, he quietly prepared for the end, not with resignation, but with purpose? The organ donation storyline, once dismissed as fan speculation, may now be more than a possibility. It may be the very climax of John's story. Imagine this. John is gravely injured, perhaps even mortally, while aiding in the escape that helped Steve and Sean steal the experimental drug. Amid the chaos, a medical revelation emerges. John's body, though fading, is still a match for Bo. His organs, specifically a vital one Bo needs to survive, are viable. And with that, John makes the ultimate sacrifice. No fanfare, no headlines, just a quiet, solemn decision made in a sterile hospital room, witnessed by a tearful Marlena, an anguished Steve, and a shattered Roman. He signs the papers. He says his goodbyes. And in doing so, he saves Bo. Behind the scenes, Drake Hodgson's brave goodbye. When the story of John's final days was written, actor Drake Hodgson was still fighting his own battle. At the time, showrunners reportedly left the door open for a possible return. Deidre Hall, in a candid March interview, shared that the executive producer Ken Corday had extended an open invitation. As soon as you're ready to come back, you come back. Those words carried weight, hope in the face of heartbreak. Because as fans now know, Drake Hodgson passed away in September 2024 after a brave battle with pancreatic cancer. And now Day seems ready to honor him in the most fitting way possible. A ripple effect across Salem. The fallout from John's death will be massive. Marlena, his soulmate, will be inconsolable. Roman will be racked with guilt and disbelief. Brady will feel the burden of unfinished conversations, of time lost. Even Kristen, in her own twisted way, may grieve the man who always managed to see the good in people, even in her. But from that grief will rise hope. Bo will open his eyes. His body restored. His second chance made possible by John's sacrifice. And with that breath, Bo will carry forward John's legacy. Imagine the scene. Bo, still weak, sits beside Marlena and holds her hand. "I don't know what to say," he whispers. "How do I live a life that was given back to me by him?" Marlena, fighting tears, responds, "You live it with love. You live it for him." The power of John's final gift. Organ donation storylines have long been a staple of soap opera drama, but few have the emotional resonance of this one. This isn't just about saving a life, it's about honoring a friendship that spanned decades. It's about courage in the face of fear. About putting others first, even at the very end. John Black has always been the man who ran into danger, who stood between his loved ones and harm. His final act cements that image for eternity. And for Days of Our Lives viewers, especially those who have grown old with these characters, it's a reminder that even in loss, there can be light. A bittersweet goodbye and a legacy that endures. In the coming episodes, Salem will mourn. Viewers will weep. And Bo Brady, now alive because of John, will rise to carry the weight of that second chance. Because John didn't just save a life. He passed on a torch. And in that passing, he ensured that the spirit of love, protection, and selflessness that defined him would never be extinguished. So when the screen fades to black on John Black's final scene, know this: he may be gone, but his heart literally and figuratively will live on. In Bo, in Marlena, in all of Salem, and in the millions of viewers who will never forget the man who saved his friend and became a hero for all time. Fan reactions to John Black's organ donation to save Bo Brady. A heartbreaking farewell. But is it what viewers really wanted? Salem has never been short on tragedy. But having John Black, one of Days of Our Lives' most beloved characters, die to save Bo Brady has sent the fan community into an emotional spiral like never before. This wasn't just a shocking plot twist. It was a real test of loyalty, belief, and emotional endurance for the show's longtime audience. Especially those who've been with John since the earliest days of his journey in Salem. Tears everywhere, but not everyone agrees. Shortly after the episode featuring John Black's final appearance aired, social media was flooded with tearful reactions. "I've never cried this hard. John was my childhood. But he went out with honor. At Salem Fan Forever, this ending is too cruel. I get they wanted to honor him, but letting John die hurts too much. Why couldn't they let both men live?" At Marlena Hart, clearly, while many found the storyline meaningful and beautiful, others were furious at being robbed of a legacy character, especially when the actor, Drake Hodgson, had recently passed away in real life. A beautiful ending or a wasted one? A strong debate has emerged. If the writers truly wanted to pay tribute to John, why not let him survive and save Bo another way? Some fans feel like the show forced them to choose between two heroes, leaving a bittersweet taste regardless of the outcome. Bo coming back was a miracle. But if the cost was John's life, I'm not sure it was worth it. At Old Salem Soul supporters speak out, John's sacrifice as a heroic ballad. Still, not everyone disagreed. Many fans, particularly those over 60 who have watched the show for decades, view John's ending as the most fitting tribute possible. John always sacrificed himself. He lived for others, and now he died for others. I'm heartbroken, but proud. At Mama Jean Salem 1954, no one could have had a more meaningful ending. He didn't die in vain. He saved his best friend. At Bo and John Forever, these supporters believe Bo's survival, after being presumed gone forever, gives John's death even deeper meaning, showing just how powerful his final act really was. Mixed feelings because they loved John too much. A big part of the backlash stems from the deep affection fans have for John Black. To them, he isn't just a character on a TV screen, he represents moral strength, love, sacrifice, and the ideal man. Letting him die, no matter how noble the cause, felt like losing a part of themselves. I didn't need him to be a hero. I just wanted John to live and be happy with Marlena. At Heart of Salem, in conclusion. A tragically beautiful ending that divides the fanbase. John Black's death to donate an organ and save Bo Brady will go down as one of the most unforgettable moments in Days of Our Lives history. For some, it was the perfect heroic ending. For others, it was a wound too deep. It's fair to say this was one of the show's boldest and most emotional writing decisions because it sparked genuine emotion, real arguments, and very real tears. And that perhaps is the true power of great soap opera storytelling, when the characters become more than fiction. When they become memory. When they become family. So, what about you? Do you support the decision to have John donate his organ to save Bo? Or do you wish both could have lived to continue their story in Salem together?